crunch time in Spain as the El Clasico takes center stage. Estadio de Olímpico, Sevilla's home ground, will be hosting the El Clasico between Barcelona and Real Madrid in a tie that either sees Carlo Ancelotti remain at the helm of Real Madrid coaching or seeing him getting the sack, or probably seeing him throwing in the towel because he's already promised us before. Too many theatrics before the game. Real Madrid saying they don't want to take part in the game because of the refereeing in the La Liga. And then Barcelona hot, 4 points on top of the La Liga, scoring goals for fun, scoring late winners, fresh in the Champions League, going through the semi-finals. It's going to be a big one today. Well, for those of you who are new on the channel, don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe. Well, this is going to be a pretty interesting tie in Spain because it's been a fortress for Barcelona. Barcelona has won the last 3 encounters in the El Clasico. 3 straight wins in the El Clasico, no draw, no nothing. Real Madrid has not smelt the El Clasico in 3 encounters. And then, well, I think Real Madrid has a lot of problems getting into this one. They've been knocked out of the Champions League in a tournament that they have been bossing over the past 3 or 4 seasons, yeah, aside from the one that Man City took, but they were at the center stage of humiliation in that tournament. Barcelona beat Dortmund in that one. Well, they didn't perform well in the second leg, but they managed to secure their spot into the semi-finals, yeah. They'll be taking on Inter Milan. Real Madrid, on the other hand, flattered to deceive against Arsenal. We had this whole conversation of Remontada. They're going to do a comeback and all that. Well, I've only seen those mind games in Uganda. I didn't know that people in Spain were actually going to pull off these funny tricks and all those stantos. But well, long story short, the Arsenal managed to take them out and book their spot into the semi-final. Something that Arsenal will be looking to use as a stepping stone for their season because I think the Premier League is gone. Well, that is not what we're talking about today. Well, when we get into this one, well, some of the injury doubts we'll be having this one. Barcelona lost Robert Lewandowski to an injury. He's actually racked up a good number of goals inside that one. I think 40 goal contributions this season for a man that is actually in his late 30s will be a very pretty interesting stat. So he will be out for Barcelona. They will be boosted by the return of Andres ter Stegen. I'm not sure if he'll be getting a nod in behind the sticks there because Szczesny has actually been rock solid in the back there, yeah. And then in the tie that they played the last time out where they won 1-0, they rested a Cabrasi inside that one. They rested a De Jong. They rested a number of players inside. They rested a Jules Koundé because they were keeping them ready for the big game, yeah. But then, of course, in the defenders that they had, Araujo and Inigo Martinez. Martinez has actually been solid for a person that is actually aging like that. He's actually been cooking a lot of spots for them. But I think, how do these two teams line up? I think, like I said, Barcelona with the Szczesny in the goals, most definitely. Cabrasi comes back in that one to partner Araujo. I think we're going to be going for experience and age in that one. And then, of course, Balde is still injured on the left flank. We'll wait to see which kid the main man will be deploying in that one, yeah. But then in the midfield, of course, it was beautiful to see Gavi and Pedri playing. As for Pedri, I don't have a lot to say about Pedri, but I think when you get a Xavi and you get an Iniesta, Pedri must be the next thing to Xavi and Iniesta in regards to flair, skill, and everything. So in the middle, it will be pretty interesting to see because Frankie de Jong was actually on the bench during the midweek. Maybe they were resting him for this one as well. But then on the side is where it will be interesting from because we have a Lamine Yamal. He's a kid that has been on hot form the whole season. Yeah, take nothing away from his finishing and all that, but he has been a spark. You know, like how you get a spark plug and it's not there on a machine and the machine cannot move. He's actually been their spark plug in that one. And then a Ferran Torres that has had a very slow season but has begun to adapt as the season goes to end. Will be leading their lineup, I'm sure, because he's been injecting a few goals inside that one. And then, of course, a Rafinha, who was also benched, that will be leading the line in that one. I think it will be a crazy one for Real Madrid because, of course, Courtois will be starting in the goals. No doubt about that one. In the defense, I think Lucas Vazquez comes back in his number 2 position. They benched Antonio Rudiger during the week. So I think he will be coming back in the center of the defense to partner maybe an Asensio because I don't really see how Alaba gets to play sports since that injury must have messed him up. And then maybe on the left wing side, I've seen Ferland Mendy has been given the nod to play in front. But then the drama comes through from the midfield. Well, ever since Toni Kroos retired and then he left Musei Wakazi, Luka Modric. Well, I don't think Modric still has the energy to run around with all the kids that are playing sports recently. And then I believe most of these kids are always looking to like end careers of the old guys I know. So it's going to be interesting to see how they line up. They have a Kamavinga, they have a Chouameni, and then they have a Valverde. One person I'm sure will most definitely get a nod inside that one is Valverde. Someone recently made a collection of all the goals that Valverde has scored, and boy oh boy, does the man know how to hit a football. Should go and look out for Fede Valverde's goals. Yeah, it's only Chibokos. He actually scored a late win, I think 2 weeks ago, the other week, in a tie that in a game that had actually refused a serious belter of a shot in that one. Keep your eyes locked on him. But I think maybe Chouameni will actually center with Kamavinga just to get the legs to run around inside that one. And then they will be boosted by the return of Kylian Mbappe, who has been out for a few weeks inside that one. But of course, me, the drama still comes to about, does Madrid really need an Mbappe to be playing from forward as a nine? Does Madrid need Mbappe to actually play from the left wing where Vinicius is? Well, very many of us know, I think Luis Enrique also came to and spoke about it, that Mbappe is actually more effective when he's coming from the Mbappe is more effective when he's coming from the side. That is something that maybe Ancelotti has failed to figure out. And remember, they signed a kid in Henrik, who I think might be better suited to play as a nine, because I think he's been practicing as a nine from his days in Brazil and all that. And well, I don't know, it's not really working for those guys. All of them are probably slow on the ball. They're not releasing balls. And I think all of them want to carry the team. I think this is just a mentality of young India in a football team. And then, of course, Rodrigo on the side will be interesting to watch. He's actually not been on fire as we expect him to be. Yeah, but we will be waiting to see. I think that's how these two teams will line up. In regards to how the contest will go, I think this contest is an evenly matched contest. Of course, it's not. We don't really have a battle that we used to have those days of Ronaldo and Messi in that one, where everyone had a moment of magic that they were going to produce in this one. But I think this game is going to be maybe attack, attack, attack. For Barcelona, I think you guys have seen that they have a never say attitude recently under Hansi Flick, because they've, of course, when they were trailing against Celta Vigo, I was seeing something about all the players that have scored hat-tricks against Barcelona have gone on to lose those games. Exactly. Yeah, Borja Iglesias went on to score a hat-trick against Barcelona, but they actually scored a 90+8 winner. Yeah, in a Rafinha for you. So it's really tricky playing against this Barcelona side that has that attitude. And then Real Madrid, I think they're still struggling to rediscover their fortunes. I've seen they even wanted to abscond the fixture today because they are quarreled. They are making noise about the refereeing in Spain, and yet Real Madrid, Real Madrid is one of those teams that actually have had referees favoring them on many occasions. So it's really crazy to see that one of the giants in Spain has actually gone to begin playing football on paper and not on the pitch. But we'll wait and see how that goes. But like I said, in regards to the previous games that they've all played, Barcelona has swept Madrid 3 times in their last 3 games. Yeah. And then Barcelona has, important to note that Barcelona has lost only one game in the whole of 2025, which is a pretty interesting statistic. Real Madrid has lost quite a number of games. They lost against Real Betis, they lost against Valencia, they lost 2 times against Arsenal. So it's not really been going well for Ancelotti. And just like I said, if Ancelotti bottles this one or fumbles this one, then it will either be the sack or he'll announce that he's leaving the club. But if I was going to give you guys a prediction, I personally think Barcelona is going to do the usual that it's been doing to Madrid. This is the best time that they'll verse Madrid, because Madrid has flattered to deceive recently. And now, with all this that has been going on and all that, the Remontada and all that wagwis that didn't actually come to pass, I don't really think they actually have that inspiration and motivation that they've been having. Of course, they've been psyching themselves up on social media. You've seen Achuemeni and the Courtois try to maybe play some gibberish and try to get the boys back cooking. But I don't think Real Madrid has it in them to come and sting Barcelona at this time. Yeah, because remember, Barcelona is actually 4 points on top of them. I don't think Barcelona is about to put the gas off the pedal. Yeah, of course, in some of the predictions, I actually got inside that one. Bana, Uganda, my guy Bana, who is one of the hottest hip hop gospel artists in Uganda, with a prediction of 3-1 in it. Well, I think, well, very many people do not really think that Real Madrid takes this one, but you guys should actually just go on YouTube and check out what Bana is cooking. Very good gospel music for you guys inside that. And of course, Bowman Aremwachi, top lad inside that one, released the new one the other day, midnight, kept us waiting for all that. But I think he has some good music. You can go and check him out on YouTube. And then I think, just in case you want to watch some other games inside that one, you could probably just go out to, you could probably go out and watch maybe the FA Cup returns today. Crystal Palace taking on Aston Villa in a tie that's going to be interesting. Crystal Palace is actually fresh from coming from 2 goals down against the Arsenal and taking a draw in a tie that probably made Arsenal clear all their hopes in the Premier League. So you would go and watch that one. I think in this tie, Aston Villa takes it away because Unai Emery is cooking a lot of spots, and apparently he's actually got Marcus Rashford up firing again. So keep your eyes locked on that one as well. And then in the English Premier League, I think the trophy will be handed over tomorrow. Liverpool takes on Spurs. Well, Spurs, like Man United, have been playing whatever they want. Bakola Bagala in simple terms. They've been winning when they want. They've been losing for fun. This is fair losing, yeah? So I don't think I'm even going to be in a conversation of Spurs coming to take a win inside that one. Of course, Liverpool managing to get a 1-0 win against Leicester in a very dramatic fashion the last time out for them to get closer to the dream, yeah? And Man United takes on Bournemouth. Bournemouth over the last 3 months has actually averaged, I think, like 1 or 2 wins in the last 3 months. But they've versed a Man United where Ruben Amorim promised a lot and the masses that, well, we're going to be playing keys because we're now you're looking at the Europa League. So I think I don't know. It's going to be a pretty interesting one, but I think I'll give a Bournemouth X in this one. I don't really see where Man United fires with all the kids they are going to be playing and all that. I don't think they're up to speed to begin taking wins in that one. And then, of course, last week we did a video on the journey for TY in the Cherry Lions League. Of course, we still have a segment that will be coming through for the Road to Fort Portal. Keep your eyes locked on that one, and we thank you guys for pushing the video and liking on the video. And then, of course, we'd like to appreciate the whole fraternity for like supporting the content and watching the content. Yeah, we actually hit 20,000 views the other day, and of course, much gratitude to everyone that is liking and supporting and giving a shout out to the channel. Yeah, but I think next week will be very interesting as well. We'll be having the Champions League returning. It's Arsenal taking on a PSG, Inter Milan taking on Barcelona. The Arsenal PSG game is the one where the fire is. Of course, there's a lot of word on that game. We will see if we'll get you something on that one, but it will be pretty interesting to watch. Aside from that, enjoy the weekend. Let's live the life the way the life is supposed to be lived. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe. Vamos, we go again.